$50. It's pounds. I hope you haven't shortchanged yourself. But massively appreciated. You guys will all be going on the donators page. White Flash Reborn, by the way, in chat is the guy that made this map. So if you like it, let him know. If you don't like it, let him know. This is going to be fun. I kind of wish that Momo was here now, because I'm sure that Momo would have a lot to say about a match like this. Covering it solo is always really good fun, because you're looking at two factions, trying to make sure we get everything down, but we've been doing this a long time, so... I'm too excited for this. Too excited for this game.
I got orders, boys.
Alright. Let's go. Hello everybody and welcome to our first game, King of the Hill, Season 3, Episode 3. Right now, we have, as the OKW on the north side of Crossroads, our current reigning king, Von Ivan. And today he's going to be playing against a newly rebranded player. Used to be Nagano, now it's Nico, and he's going to be playing as the US forces from the south side. Now, if you are coming into this game from YouTube, or you maybe didn't catch before we started this game, there have been some changes to the commanders in Company of Heroes, which we've allowed Overwatch and Royal Artillery Regiment back in. There's been some changes to some of the units, the CP call-ins. There's a lot to discuss, a lot to look out for, and as you can see here, how has this affected already? Nagano, aka Nico, recon support straight away. Von Ivan, Overwatch Doctrine straight away. Commander lock-ins. Both players seeming to have a defined strategy. And really like this from Von Ivan. He brings out the Kubel straight away. Such a great unit for capping a lot of the map quickly. And he's going to be trying to get all those resources on the left-hand side whilst putting up a pretty decent fight in the center to stop Nico from progressing quickly. So OKW and US are pretty aggressive factions in their own right. And making sure that you get the start game right is the key. Nico here has actually done very well on the resource front. He's captured a lot of the strategic points straight away. He's going to get his high resource fuel point. And now he's managed to get himself a nice vantage point in this building. Gives him a little bit of extra recon to have a look around the center, see if he can detect what's coming. And a little bit static from Von Ivan at the start. I think this is showing that he's really expected. But actually not seen any sign of those Pathfinders yet. Thought maybe we'd see that as one of the first units called in. We may see it shortly. Definitely one of the things we'll be talking about today. Stern Pioneers here going to come around and try and clear the Riflemen out with a little support from the Volksgrenadiers. Gotta be careful though, because that second squad from the south doing a lot of damage actually to the Volksgrenadiers. Really nice. Good push from Nico. She gets close range up on the wall, forces the Volksgrenadiers away, and perhaps a dangerous situation for Von Ivan in the early game, who does not want to let US get on top of this strategic point. This is one of the great benefits of the Kubel, really, is just being able to quick cap so much of the map. Nice pop by the Stern Pioneers there. A little bit of a distraction whilst the Volksgrenadiers get up on the wall. Now he's going to retreat. That's a really nice push, actually, from Von Ivan. Now allows him to force Nagano off of the wall by sheer brute force. Love a bit of the old switcheroo. Looks like Von's ready to tech, bringing out his first SWS in just a second. And whatever this is going to be, I mean, he's gone for Overwatch. He's going to have Goliaths. I really hope we get to see it. Question is whether he's going to pick Battle Grouper or Mechanized. You can see the Goliath straight away in the build. It's going to be one of those kind of games. How many of these have we seen Von Ivan throw?
Combat unit ready.
I don't know if Twitch is ready for another Von Ivan game. If you don't happen to know much about Von Ivan, he's a very, very good player. He's definitely one of the best players with vehicles in the game. But my god, can he throw a good game. You see that little remote controlled device of torture. Actually really enjoying the kind of early gameplay that's been on here. Von's been very slow at the start, but he's kept his ground. He's then got a decent force pretty much on all sides of the map, pushing Nico back towards his base. And you see that Nico has gone for the USMG, which is a really good choice, trying to suppress any of those flanks that Von Ivan's bringing. Quite an active early game. Look at that Goliath hiding it there. I think just making sure he can contest if any of the US units try to get on the strategic point. And we may actually see that happen because Von has just been pushed off of the left-hand side. Nico, of course, will be seeing these flares go up when he walks into a strategic point, so it's a big giveaway as to what doctrine Von Ivan has chosen. And if he's paying attention, he'll probably know there's a Goliath hanging around. Here comes the recon from Nico. He's about to take his double fuel. Actually, this is dropping the support team. So here comes that Goliath. I'm sure Von Ivan's about to get this. There it goes. Squad wipe, first one of the game. And Von is going to be very, very happy with himself for that. Nagano, of course, has just landed. I think 2 of his paratroopers may have landed in the trees there and died. Von's running the Volksgrenadier squad in front of the rifleman models, which means he's blocking the body, stopping the retreat a little bit. That's allowing the Stern Pioneers to open up with some pretty huge shots. So we could just, the second squad wipe so quickly. And suddenly it's all changed for Nico.
Germans are making a push.
It was looking so good to that point. Of course, in that time, we do see it was the mechanized regiment that that Von Ivan went for, meaning he's got the Panzer II Lukes on the field. And that is such a great unit for him to have right now. Of course, Nico does have access to the AT gun. We're going to see that first shot come off now. Nevertheless, this is such a dominant unit to have in this situation. Sensible Von there, getting some green cover sandbags up to fight from. Oh, look at that Goliath. Can he see it? Can he see it? He's seen it. Von's been a little bit found out there.
Steady up, fellas. I got orders coming.
It's a very tough game to play against those Goliaths because Nico's going to have to be constantly monitoring every single engagement. Every time he walks to a strategic point, he's going to have to think about that. It's quite a big deal, really, when you're trying to fight on 3 fronts at the same time.
Greyhound, ready for action.
He said, though, Greyhound just available there for Nico. He calls it in immediately, and this is one of the units that's been changed recently. 5 CP down to 4 CP call-in. And actually Von's going to need to be careful here. Because of course the Greyhound does have access to that lovely canister shot. Still no movement from Von yet. This is not good. Von, I think, focusing on the Lukes. And this was a very, very late retreat. A low health Volksgrenadier should be a pretty easy target for the upgraded Greyhound. Quite frankly, Von deserves that. And now leaving the MG in trouble. Von is going to go for a Puma as a counter to the Greyhound call-in. Greyhound has a lot of work to do. There's that Puma on the field just now. NiKo really needs to be predicting this. I think we do actually see the AT gun has a pretty decent line of sight, so when that Puma does come in, I think NiKo, or at least he was ready for it. Actually, he may have overextended a little bit here. Needs to be really, really careful now in this engagement. The AT gun is set up facing the wrong way, and there is nothing like smoke that's going to save the Greyhound in this engagement. Puma really needed that last shot to go off. Von may have to dive to get this. Has to smoke out. He's low health, and now there's a second Greyhound. This is a very, very lucky call-in timing for NiKo. And Von's got to be so careful. He can't just stop the Puma here. Greyhound knows. He knows that Puma's somewhere, and he's going to have the line of sight to find it. It's got to be a dead Puma, surely. Only a miss. Oh no, actually a hit. Doesn't do the health damage. Von may get away with this. No, just at the last second, Nagano gets the kill. Beautiful. Can he get the Greyhound out of there? He's got good support on the left. He's got the rear echelons for the repair. He's got the LMGs upgraded on the paratroopers, and that actually, just by the very last breath, managed to work out for NiKo. Now he's actually got a little bit of an advantage here with two Greyhounds on the field. The ability to jump out, repair the vehicles, and get back on the front lines really quickly. And this game goes back and forth. Interesting to point out right at the start, though. Things looking very even on the KDs. Graphs don't really show us anything at the moment, but one thing I can definitely say is Von Ivan has no infantry. He is going hard into his mechanized build, and he is being severely harassed by these Greyhounds. But once he starts losing more infantry and loses that capping power, then it's going to be really, really easy for NiKo to just sit on top of the map, sit on top of the resources. There's that second Puma. Oh, look at that! Very, very cheeky last shot there from the Greyhound. Von does have the line of sight there, so he can get that last shot off, but he misses it. Didn't manage to stall the tank to get that extra accuracy in time, but with a little help from the Lukes, Von's mechanized army is feeling confident to pursue. The Luke should be able to deal with the Greyhound. Will the Puma dive? And again, Nagano just gets away with that. Look at that. There's literally no health on either of those. Cool's got to be careful of that AT gun. So you see that NiKo laying some mines there. This is smart by Von Ivan. He's gone, instead of capping the fuel straight away, he's gone for a quicker decap, which denies NiKo that fuel. But we've got to see something happen quickly for Von. The Goliath strategy hadn't really worked at the start of the game. Got one squad, but NiKo is well on top of it now. Oh, this is very nice. So actually, during an engagement on the left-hand side, we didn't catch during the vehicle engagement. Looks like a paratrooper dropped one of the LMGs. That's been picked up by the Stern Pioneers now, which is fantastic. Just got healing in the base for NiKo. His third Greyhound, so really going in with the call-in meta. And this has only just happened, this update, so everything we're seeing now is potentially going to be the new meta in the game for a while. Players in this game tend to favor call-ins if it's effective, but once this gets countered, 3 Greyhounds are not going to be particularly great, I feel. Look at this. is a real armada. And again, every time Von just steps a little bit out of the boundary, Nico is there to clear up the mess. Beautiful play. He's even laying the cluster bombs on the retreat. Picks up another squad. That's 3 squad wipes for Von Ivan. And that is tragic. Wow, that was great play by Nico. He dropped those cluster bombs right on the road. Any of the units that were retreating from the center had to run through that.
Ready for action.
And he just finishes it off. It's so beautiful. The way that Nico plays, the way that he orchestrated that was just stunning. Really, you couldn't ask for a better engagement. Von is just now struggling to get some infantry on, but he's really going to have to double down on this side. He's going to have to focus entirely on the left now. This is a position that OKW always used to find itself in this map in previous patches. And he's just going to have to cling on to a VP, cling on to some resources, and get a build together that's going to be able to counter this. It's worth noting that Nico has, you know, with 3 Greyhounds to call him, he has stunted his ability to tech, so it's not out of the question that Von can come back with something if he can hard counter the Greyhounds, stop losing those models. There is a chance. But this is the problem, and only AT we see from Von, of course, is that Puma. Greyhounds though, gotta say, like Puma's going to be getting some veterancy. There's a veterancy 2 USAT gun harassing that Puma, so Von needs to be careful. Really, really careful about taking those hits because of the range on them. Look how careful Von has to be with that Puma. This is going to be so hard for Von to play against as this game goes on. Every time he extends with his infantry, he's met with a lot of NG firepower. Von's doing the sensible thing here as he's slowly building up his infantry force again. He's also bringing out another Puma. And this may be his answer to the spam from Nico. Two Pumas at least. Played defensively, allowing the Lukes to push the lines with the infantry will allow Von to hold his territory. And don't discount Von because he's a creative player. He's found himself in the middle of a throne game many a time. If anyone can get out of a throne game, or has the experience of getting out of it, it's going to be Von Ivan. Nagano, you can see here, he's going to put a big fight on that left-hand side now. The lieutenant here is going to be pushing forward for recon. We see that the AT gun is setting up. It's going to put a lot of pressure on this side of the map. Again, you just look at these 3 Greyhounds. So intimidating. So intimidating. What's the plan from Von? There's the Puma. There to support on the left-hand side. 3 VPs, by the way, for Nico, so the drain on Von Ivan's pretty huge at the moment. 0.75 VPs per second, in fact. The Pumas are going to dive. Actually, 2 Pumas managed to go around the back of the AT gun. And I think they're looking to pursue. Either way, it could be a bit dangerous. Let's follow this Puma, which I think is horribly out of position. In fact, Nico responds by coming back with the 3 Greyhounds, annihilates the Puma from the front. There's engine damage on Von's second Puma, which means that these Greyhounds can come in and pretty much clean up uncontested. Even the Lukes is in trouble. Von with a little bit of a throw here. That did not go how he wanted. Bazookas on the rear echelon helped to finish the job. It's great play by Nico, and potentially terrible play by Von Ivan. And Von is left with absolutely nothing. That, well, the graph says it all. I don't think I have to cast from this point onwards. We just watch the graph. But there we go, Von Ivan concedes defeat. And we have a new king. A new Tsar, in fact. Nico.